we've reached the Q&A and we've only got a couple minutes. However, we'll get a couple the questions underway. Ken, this one is for office. How are businesses adapting their workplace to deal with the working from home employees and accommodating their office size requirements?
Thanks, Ed. From a workplace point of view, look, what our clients are doing, they're actually taking space for 70% of employees based on future growth numbers. Another strategy also is we are seeing densities increase, whereas pre-COVID, most businesses were occupying a density of probably 1 per 10 to about 12 square meters, whereas some businesses are now increasing their density to build some elasticity within the business, so they can flex back down to about 1 person per 15 square meters.
Perfect, thank you. Another one, Michael, this one's for you. You mentioned multi-level industrial buildings being in the pipeline. When do you see these actually eventuating?
Well, it's all very new in Australia. It's very prevalent in Southeast Asia, where land is so scarce, and they're going up to 10, 15 levels. But there's a few. Goodman and Charter Hall have got proposed developments just south of Sydney, in Alexandria, and there's another one further out at Matraville. But they're suggesting that they'll probably come online in about 2 to 3 years, possibly 5. They're at development approval stage at the moment. So yeah, it's a very real thing. And as I said, they're doing it very close to the city for that last mile solution. And they're finding that the rents that they can command will offset the increased land costs and development costs.
Got another one, Ken, this is for office as well. Are we seeing an increase in serviced office or shared office space take up by tenants?
Yes, yep. With the current, call it hybrid working, there has been an increase, in particularly in call it the prime grade stock of the service office or co-working or shared office space.
Perfect.
Yeah, sorry.
I guess there's a follow-on to that one.
Yeah, it's okay. I guess the benefit to the service office is the flexibility that actually provides. So essentially, you're actually not tied in to a 3, 4, 5 year contract. You do pay a slight premium for it, but it does provide you with that flexibility to terminate the contract early, or even contract or take up additional space within with that provider.
Thanks, Ken. We have gone slightly over time, but I think we've got one more for retail, Adrian.
Yep.
Just in your slides, you mentioned that aspect of time. If you have an option for a further term, when should you really start the process with discussing your exercise of option with your landlord?
Yeah, so I think Ken might have touched on this a little bit in the office, that the option is really your backup or your last. That's what you sort of keep as your last option. So absolutely, you should be looking at negotiating with your landlord still to that 12 to 24 months out. If you do exercise an option, in most states you are locked into market rent review provisions, and so by negotiating early, it does give you an opportunity to sort of look at what terms would be on offer from the landlord, but also it gives you time to relocate to another premises if the terms that the landlords are offering are not suitable for your business.
That's an interesting. I might just butt in there. It's an interesting question from an industrial context, because, as I suggested, that there's a lot of off-market transactions happening, and particularly if you've got a larger requirement, say 10,000 square meter shed that you want to get into, the only real way that you're able to do it is pre-commit to a lease at the moment, and that the lead time to that is 3 to 4 years. So it just goes to show that there's a considerable amount of strategy that's involved. And I'm talking in an industrial context, that's required to get you into new space.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for all us at LEC. Thank you for joining. Join us in our next update where we'll touch on Q4 next year. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the team. And if we don't talk to you before the next update, have a good Christmas. and a good end of the year. Thanks, everyone.
See you later.